Bonjour. Benjamin, tu as changé complètement. Je te reconnais plus. I don't even recognize you.
Yeah,
Big Mardi Gras change.
kind of, yeah. Different. Definitely different.
Yeah.
I've never had a buzz cut in my life. I guess you could say I was born with one, but other than that, I've always had hair.
Does it feel good or does it feel cold?
I don't really notice that it's cold, but it's different. I don't feel like myself.
I like the way really short hair feels
Yeah, it's nice.
on other people. I don't think I've ever had a buzz cut.
It's definitely it's weird when I go there to do this and then there's nothing there. It grows back really fast though.
Hopefully this does not bode I lose my students to the military from time to time.
Oh no, never.
Okay, good. Do you remember your family portrait with was it your sister or aunt who had like a assault rifle?
Oh, that was my sister, yes.
Yeah, is she in the military or she just likes?
She just likes ARs.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you're loud and clear, Seth.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, it's a very professional setup you have on your headphones. Wonder if let's see, Cameron and Katie, and Joseph, we'll see what happens. We'll see if they read their email.
Mhm.
So you can change the light color in your room, Seth, is that?
Yeah, pretty much got track lighting up in here.
And it changes color, fancy.
Yeah, those things are so cool.
Did you put them in or did you have to get an electrician to do that?
It's peel and stick kind.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Wow. Does
You
it
can
plug
drive
in?
around the neighborhood and you can tell who's Gen Z because you can see all the bedrooms that are shining different colors as you drive through a neighborhood, so you can tell who has teenage kids.
Yeah, like I don't even know what that is. Do you have to put batteries in it? Is it wired? How does that work?
It's plugged into my wall outlet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you plug it in and then you stick it to the perimeter of your ceiling or wall and you control them with a remote. They even have some that change according to sound, so they'll change color. Like if you clap, it'll
Oh,
change
that's
color.
cool.
So if you play music, it'll change color with the music.
Somehow I don't think this would go well in my house, but I'm sure it's very cool. I'm freezing. My house is cold and the heating system cannot keep up. Okay, you've got
Oops, someone's
Cameron. Yeah, Cameron's trying to connect. And well, I guess we'll get started. Let's see. It's 10:45. Cameron, are you there? Can you hear us? Bonjour, Cameron. Okay. So we're going to get started with some more chapter 6 things. Donc, s'orienter with prepositions. So prepositions are little words like devant, derrière, chez, entre, and then the ubiquitous a, like je vais à la boulangerie, je vais à je vais au magasin, je vais à la boucherie. So all of those are prepositions. They situate you in space and time. And because the chapter is about bonjour, Katie est là, is about the city, we're going to learn about directions and these ways to get around and situate yourself. So here we have the question où se trouve la poste, or où se trouve la pharmacie, ou où se trouve le vétérinaire, and then these would be answers. So we have à côté de, which means next to, à deux pas de, just 2 steps away. That means like it's really close by. A pas is a step. So I know it looks like a negation there, but it means a step. Think of animals' paws. À droite de, à gauche de, left and right, au bout de, au carrefour de, au centre de, au coin de, coin, corner, carrefour, crossroads, en face de et loin de. So en face de, vous êtes en face de moi, et je suis loin de Chicago, far from. So all of those are little prepositions. So you probably remember this from some earlier French exposure. On va au, to the, and there's the contraction au. On va au magasin de vêtements. When it's feminine, nous allons à la cafétéria. When there's a vowel, nous allons à l'hôpital. And when it's plural, you have AUX, which is pronounced O. Nous allons au al. So the al in France are a great big outdoor market. So the other little preposition with contractions is de, from, or of. La boulangerie est près du magasin de vêtements. So the bakery is close to. Pas trop loin de la boulangerie, il y a une papeterie. So when you have a de la, oops, I forgot to put the de la, it would be, there's not, it's the same. So you don't contract it, it's just de la. Pas trop loin de la boulangerie. When you have a vowel, you have de, L apostrophe. Je l'ai acheté à côté de l'orangerie. L'orangerie is a big museum in France. So here we have a map of Paris. Où se trouvent les halles? Donc voilà les halles à côté du Centre Pompidou. So the Centre Pompidou, that ridiculous name, Pompidou, Georges Pompidou was the president, and it is a huge museum today. So où se trouvent les halles? À côté du Centre Pompidou. Où se trouve l'hôtel de ville? So the hôtel de ville is like the mayor's office. À deux pas de la voie Georges Pompidou. So that's the voie Georges Pompidou, and à deux pas de l'hôtel de ville. So a voie is a path, or as you can see in this case, it's close to la quai. Does anybody know what a quay is in English? Q, it's spelled the same almost, quay or a quai. It's not a word we use much, I will grant you. Quays are next to rivers. So in Louisiana, we have La Levee. In other places, the road next to the river is called a quai. In French, it is la quai. So voici la voie Georges Pompidou, the way of Georges Pompidou, et voici le quai des Célestins. So this neighborhood is called the Marais, and I particularly like the Marais because in New Orleans, I live on Murray Street, which is the same word. It means swamp. So there's a word in English that is very tied to Marais. It is morass. Have you ever heard that word? It's a pretty, no. So a morass is a swamp. So in Paris, they drained the swamp and made it the city. So lots of places were called La Marais, including where I live in New Orleans, it used to be the swamp. Okay, so here's all these expressions. À côté de, à deux pas de, à droite de, à gauche de, au bout de, au carrefour, au centre, au coin de, en face de, loin de. So let's look at la place des Vosges. La place des Vosges. What would be a way to describe it with respect to other things? So here we have the Bastille. Here we have the Musée Carnavalet. What is it close to, far to? How could you describe its situation? let's look at La Place de la Bastille. Is the Place des Vosges right here? Is it loin de or près de? Loin, far, près, close. Let me get my pointer. So here we have La Place des Vosges. Here we have Place de la Bastille. What do you think? Loin de ou près de?
Près de.
Voilà. Donc, la Place des Vosges est près de la Place de la Bastille. Regardons l'opéra. Est-ce que l'opéra est à gauche de la Place de la Bastille ou à droite de la Place de la Bastille? Donc, voici l'opéra.
À gauche de la place de la
À
Bastille.
gauche de la Place de la Bastille. If you were standing in front of la Place de la Bastille, effectivement, à gauche de la Place de la Bastille. Est-ce que des halles, so this is an H aspiré, so it looks like you would pronounce it des halles, but because that H is pronounced, it is des halles. Les halles, est-ce que les halles sont loin de la place des Vosges ou près de la place des Vosges?
Loin.
Loin de la place des Vosges. OK, regardons ici Notre-Dame. Est-ce que Notre-Dame, c'est en face de l'hôtel de ville? Donc, si nous sommes ici, est-ce que l'hôtel de ville, c'est en face de Notre-Dame? En face de, in front of? Pas vraiment. Ce n'est pas en face de, mais peut-être on peut dire à droite de. À droite de, to the right of Notre-Dame, et à droite ou à gauche de l'hôtel de ville. L'hôtel de ville est à droite de Notre-Dame. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Here we have la Louisiane. Alors, où se trouve la Louisiane? Donc, voici la carte de la Louisiane. Elle est à côté du Mississippi, n'est-ce pas? À côté du Mississippi. La Louisiane est entre le Mississippi et le Texas. Donc, voici le Texas, voici le Mississippi. Entre. What does entre mean?
In between.
Exactement. Entre le Mississippi. Alors, où se trouve la ville de la Nouvelle-Orléans? En bas du fleuve. So this is precisely where you guys all know this, and it confused the heck out of me when I moved to Louisiana. You would talk, and you continue to talk about up the bayou, down the bayou, which in English really doesn't make sense. So what does that mean, up the bayou, down the bayou? It comes from the French. If you were explaining it to a new professor, you said, what does that mean, down the bayou? How would you define that?
Closer to the source or further away from the source.
So closer to the source or further away, and the source being what?
The direction the water is flowing.
So the reason we say it like this in English, in French, is because it comes from the French. So en bas, so in French, it's not confusing at all. En bas du fleuve Mississippi. So that is exactly what you said, Ben. So en bas du fleuve, it's coming up. So up the bayou is towards the Mississippi, and down the bayou is towards the Gulf of Mexico. So where is New Orleans? En bas du fleuve Mississippi. Donc voilà, donc voici le fleuve, pop, 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 et la Nouvelle-Orléans est en bas du fleuve. Où se trouve la paroisse La Fouche? Donc voici La Fouche. Elle est entre les paroisses Saint-Charles et Terrebonne. Entre la paroisse Saint-Charles et Terrebonne. Alors, here are some more of these tricky little prepositions. Have you ever seen chez? Who knows what that means?
Means place.
In the place of, yes. So if I say chez nous on Nichols, it just means at Nichols. It means chez nous, where we are at Nichols. If I say chez vous en Allemagne, Vous mangez beaucoup de saucisses. So that would mean all the Germans over there in Germany, chez eux, in their place. So chez, derrière is a word everyone knows, behind. Entre, between, devant, in front of, en ville. So let's look at some of these places ici à Thibodaux. Où se trouve le lycée E.D. White? Est-ce que E.D. White, c'est derrière le Burger King, par exemple? Voici Burger King, voici E.D. White. Ou est-ce qu'on peut dire E.D. White est entre la cathédrale et Nichols? E.D. White est entre la cathédrale Saint-Joseph et Nichols. On peut dire que E.D. White, c'est en ville. So that is another expression just in the city, en ville. Donc, où se trouve E.D. White? Ce lycée se trouve en ville à Thibodaux. Donc, chez les catholiques, so with those Catholics, chez les catholiques, ils font la messe à la cathédrale. Chez les catholiques, ils font la messe à la cathédrale. Okay, moving along. We're not actually going to do this. We're going to go straight here. So I want you guys to figure this out. So, je suis à la place de la Bastille. So imagine that you were starting here. Okay, je suis à la place de la Bastille, and you're trying to figure out where you're going. So I'm going to read it, and then I want you guys to figure it out, where you're going to fill in these blanks. So, pour aller à la blank, blank, blank. Je prends la rue Saint-Antoine. Alors, voici la rue Saint-Antoine. Je prends la rue Saint-Antoine. La place des Vosges est à droite. Je continue dans la rue Saint-Antoine et puis je prends la rue de Rivoli. Je prends la rue de Rivoli. Je vais tout droit à l'hôtel de ville. À l'hôtel de ville, je tourne à gauche. Je tourne à gauche vers la voie Georges Pompidou. Je traverse le pont d'Arcade. Je traverse, la pont d'Arcole. Je traverse le pont et je suis à la. So what would the blanks here and there be? I'll do it again. So just follow the little pointer. Okay, je suis à la place de la Bastille. Pour aller à la blank, blank, blank. So that's where I'm going. Je prends la rue Saint-Antoine. La place des Vosges est à droite. Je continue dans la rue Saint-Antoine. Je continue dans la rue Saint-Antoine. Alors, je prends la rue de Rivoli. Je vais tout droit à l'hôtel de ville. Je tourne à gauche vers la voie Georges Pompidou. Je traverse le pont d'Arcole et je suis devant la blank, blank, blank. So what would go here or at the bottom down here? Je suis là devant la blah, blah, blah. Where am I?
Notre Dame.
So there's 3 words. So definitely Notre Dame. What is Notre Dame?
Cathedral.
Voilà. Je suis devant la cathédrale de Notre Dame. Okay, we're ready to go to France. Let's go to chapter 6 and let's look at these guys. All right, so I'm on chapter 6, exercise 12. Let me share. Boop. Okay. Okay, so we're looking at all these places in the city. Par exemple, je vais acheter des timbres, voir un film et rendre visite à mon prêtre. I'm going to go buy, what an odd list of things to do. Buy stamps, see a movie, and who is this person going to visit? So remember when you have a little accent over a vowel that is the chapeau, the circumflex, there used to be an S. So what do you think the prêtre is? There used to be an S before that T, so it looks like a word in English. Let's look at the answer then. Alors, tu vas aller au bureau de tabac, au cinéma et à l'église. So the église and the prêtre are tied together. No? Cameron, it looked like you had a moment of inspiration there. What could prêtre be?
It has to do something with shopping, right?
Okay,
no?
so yeah, well, that's why I'm like, this is a weird trip. Je vais acheter des timbres, buy stamps, shopping. Je vais voir un film. I'm going to voir un film. And I'm going to rendre visite à mon prêtre. So the person says, so here's where you're going. Tu vas aller au bureau de tabac. So strangely in France, you buy stamps at where you buy cigarettes, at the bureau du tabac. Not strangely, you can go watch a film at the cinema, and not particularly strange, except that this is an odd thing to do in one's afternoon. You're going to go to the church. So the prêtre belongs with the church. So who's the prêtre?
Pastor.
Pastor. So that's right. You put the S there and you've got pastor, also known as the priest. Okay, so here we go with all these different things. And so I'm just going to go up my list. So I'm going to go Katie, Cameron, Seth, Ben. Où est-ce qu'on va acheter des oranges? Où est-ce qu'on peut acheter des oranges? Par exemple, je vais te donner des choix. So Katie, au supermarché, à l'épicerie, au magasin de vêtements. Qu'est-ce que tu penses?
Épicerie.
Voilà, à l'épicerie. Très bien. Ben a répondu. Katie, I'm going to give you the next one. Je vais faire du jogging. Où est-ce qu'on va faire du jogging?
How would you say gym?
Au gym.
Oh, gym.
Au gym. Je vais voir un nouveau film, Cameron.
Au cinéma.
Voilà, tu vas aller au cinéma. Excellent. Seth, je vais prendre un verre de vin.
Au supermarché.
Pas exactement au supermarché. Où est-ce qu'on va prendre un verre de vin?
L'épicerie.
À l'épicerie. Rappelez-vous, ce n'est pas une bouteille de vin, c'est un verre de vin. You're just going to have a glass of wine.
Au restaurant.
Au restaurant, au bar, au café. En France, on prend un verre de vin au café. Alors, Ben, je vais envoyer une lettre.
À la poste.
À la poste, très bien. Seth, je vais rendre les devoirs au professeur. I'm going to give the professor homework. Where would you give the professor your homework?
Well, in our case, it'd be online, but if I had to take a guess, I would say university.
À l'université. À l'université.
Yeah, thank you.
Voilà, à l'université. Je vais aller à l'université pour rendre visite ou pour rendre les devoirs au prof. Alors, je vais téléphoner à ma mère. Je vais téléphoner à ma mère, Cameron. Where do you call your mom from? That's anywhere, right?
Yeah, anywhere.
That one is like, they want you to say something that hasn't been used in 20 years. Au cabinet de téléphone. So, yeah. Let's try this one. Je vais demander des brochures touristiques. Les brochures touristiques.
I don't know if they do, but can you find
L'aéroport.
a métro?
Au métro, par exemple, c'est possible au métro. Qu'est-ce que tu as dit? Brad?
L'aéroport.
À l'aéroport. Mhm. À l'office de tourisme. So they want you to know that you get your tourist brochures. L'office du tourisme. Je vais acheter des médicaments. Où est-ce qu'on va acheter des médicaments, Katie?
The pharmacy?
À la pharmacie. À la pharmacie. Je vais voir une exposition de Manet. Manet, c'est un grand artiste. Ben, où est-ce qu'on va voir une exposition de Manet?
À la musée.
Au musée. Très bien.
Musée.
Au musée. Très, très bien. Je vais chercher un livre de philosophie. Où est-ce qu'on va chercher un livre de philosophie?
I would say that'd be à la université again.
À l'université, très bien. À l'université, à la bibliothèque ou à la librairie. Ça marche. Je vais écouter un nouveau disque de rap. So, magasin is your universal word for store. Cameron. Je vais écouter un nouveau.
What was the universal word for store?
Magasin. It sounds like magazine, but it's magasin.
Magasin de musique.
Exactement. Au magasin de musique. Je vais acheter du pâté, Katie. Où est-ce qu'on va acheter du pâté?
Restaurant.
Au restaurant, c'est possible, au restaurant? Ou quelle est notre possibilité pour le pâté? À la charcuterie, par exemple, à la charcuterie. Alors, these are little city things that you see typically in French. Let me make this big. My dog is about to have a little, you're doing good. He's not freaking out because they're picking up the garbage outdoors. Okay, he stayed calm. Okay, so we're here en France. Donc, voici le casino est sur la place. Ici, on est à Paris et voici la grande pyramide qui est devant le musée de Louvre. So, using a word that situates these people, les gens, so les gens are people, where are they? Les gens sont blank le musée.
Devant.
Devant, très bien. Les gens sont devant le musée. Exactement. Alors, so this is a word that I just mentioned. Le café se trouve au something la rue. So,
Entre.
entre, good guess, but au coin de. So au coin, yeah, coin, it means the corner. And in class, I'll show you sometime really quickly. In Louisiana, there's still a use of that word coin. But it's a long explanation, so I'm not going to go there. Okay, so le fleuve est blank le pont. I did not give you this word. This is why prepositions are slippery and slimy. There's a lot of them.
Sur le
So,
pont. Sur le pont.
sur is going the right direction, but I think I heard somebody else say it. So sur is up above, but it has to be under. I swear, Cameron, did you say it or Katie? Sue? No, sous le pont. So under. So that's hard for English speakers to hear sometimes. Sur et sous. Sous, under, sur, on top. Donc le fleuve est sous le pont. Les étudiants sont les guillotos. So les guillotos are people. Their house is the idea. This is the one that we do not have a word for in English. Chez. Les étudiants sont chez les Guillotos. So it just means at the Guillotos. We put apostrophe S at the Guillotos. In French, it's chez. And so it's a preposition that does not exist in English. La basilique Sacré-Cœur est blank les filles.
Derrière.
Derrière. Très bien. OK. On continue. Les traductions. So I'll give you 5 minutes to figure these guys out. Les traductions. How many do we have? Let's see. I'll make it a little smaller so you can see it. Boop. 8. So actually, let me just dole them out. Ben 1 et 2. Seth 3 et 4. Cameron 5, 6 et Katie 7, 8.
What page is that?
Ça, c'est à la page 189. 189. But the additions are not always the same. So it should be close to 189. And it is exercice 14. And you can ask me if you're not finding the correct vocabulary.
Numéro 1, le métro est à droite de la poste.
Le métro ou la gare. So there are 2 different things. The metro,
Subway, la gare.
la gare, voilà. La gare est à droite de la poste. Très bien. Tu as le 2 déjà?
Le collège est derrière l'hôpital.
Très bien, mais c'est le lycée, collège et middle school, et le lycée est derrière l'hôpital. Très bien. OK, Seth, you got numéro 3. Let's...
Study.
Le stade.
The stade. Thank you. Jeez.
Loin de et près de. Loin, près.
Le stade près de l'université.
Le stade est près de l'université. Excellent, très bien. Et 4? So this one's hard. So at the end of is au bout de. So bank is easy, au bout de and street are kind of tricky.
On bout. Wow. Une banque à bout de. Actually looking for that translation right now.
There was a
Un
clothing
numéro?
store forever that was called Rue 21, or am I thinking of forever? Yeah, Rue 21. Wasn't that a clothing store?
Was.
It
I don't
was.
think it is anymore.
Alors, donc, la banque est au bout de la rue. La banque est au bout de la rue. All right, numéro 5, Cameron.
L'Office du tourisme sur Place Bellecour.
OK, c'est bon. L'Office du tourisme est sur la place Bellecour. Très bien. Numéro 6.
Une pharmacie est à 2 pas un traiteur.
Très bien. La pharmacie est à 2 pas de la traiteur ou du traiteur, excusez-moi. Donc, la pharmacie est à 2 pas du traiteur. Très bien. Alors, Mademoiselle Navarro.
L'école est en face de la boulangerie.
Parfait. Très bien. L'école est en face de la boulangerie.
Le centre commercial est loin du centre-ville.
Parfait. Très, très bien. Le centre commercial est loin du centre-ville. Donc, le centre commercial est loin du centre-ville. Okay, we're going to look at capitals and see what you know. Alors, Ottawa est où? Est la capitale de,
Le Canada.
oui, donc du Canada. So this wants you to remember that the de plus le, de preposition plus article le equals du. So Ottawa est la capitale du Canada. So let's look at Niami. I'm going to be surprised if anyone knows Niami. And it's going to be du as well.
If I knew what it was in English.
Well, sadly, it's Niami in English. It's not a country we think about much. So it's Niami est la capitale du Niger. So Niger is like right in the middle of Africa, which not many people go to Niger. But Paris, so now notice Paris is la. So we're not going to go du, we're not going to make the contraction, we're going to go de la. And everyone knows que Paris est la capitale
De la France.
de la France. Excellent. Canberra est la capitale. I'm going to give you guys a pass on Niger because that's
L'Australie.
l'Australie. L'Australie. Donc, le Camembert est la capitale de l'Australie. All right, this one is another tricky one, except that if you kind of know languages, you'll figure it out. Williamstad est la capitale. It's the only plural one.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not the only plural one. It's the second
De
to
la
only plural one.
États-Unis.
Williamstad is not the capital des États-Unis, so it's the
Les
other plural.
Antilles.
Des Antilles
Néerlandaises.
Néerlandaises. Voilà.
Skip 5 there, madam.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. Williams, I totally skipped Washington, D.C. C'est la capitale des États-Unis. Tu as raison. Correct. Donc, Williamstad est des Antilles Néerlandaises. Londres
L'Angleterre.
est la capitale de l'Angleterre. Et
de
Tokyo
Et la capitale du Japon.
du Japon. Très bien. Et Berne.
La capitale de la Suisse.
De la Suisse. Tout à fait. Et
Rabat.
Rabat.
Rabat est la capitale du Maroc.
Du Maroc.
Du Maroc.
Du Maroc. So remember, you're using your de plus article défini. So right in the beginning of the presentation, you know, I was hoping we were going to make it all the way through this, and we're not, because I have a Kahoot that we are going to play. So why don't I give you guys some homework, because I'm not going to see you until next Wednesday. So please complete exercise 16 and exercise 17 and exercise 18 on your own. So on Wednesday, because on Monday, I'm asking you to watch a movie, which we'll talk about. On Wednesday, we'll just do those exercises. So let me repeat them. And then let me write them down. Exercise 16, 17, and 18. And we'll just hit that. And then this chapter, the important thing is this passé composé business, which the Kahoot might seem a little tricky at times, but you cannot have enough exposure to passé composé to get the concept down because it's hard. Just remember that passé composé is hard. So let's go to the Kahoot. And so if you haven't done this before, what you're gonna do is on your computer or on your phone, I'm gonna start it and you'll see a code that you'll go to the Kahoot site and you'll load it and you'll play this game. And sometimes, all right, I just wanna play. I don't wanna take it to a new level. All right, let me see. There we go. I can't remember. I don't think we've done it this semester. So like Seth, that might be new to you, but Cameron and Katie and Ben, we did a lot of this last semester. So don't let it get too frustrating if you get things wrong. Just remember the passé composé is difficult. Okay, so go to kahoot.it, give yourself a name. I don't mind if you make it recognizable or unrecognizable. Ce n'est pas moi. Okay, so I'm only seeing 4 names. Is somebody not yet in the system? There we go. Okay, Cameron, nice. Here we go. The whole system seems like a little slow when I, there we go. Okay, so like I said, it's a little tricky. So the simple past in English is I went to the store. But the passé composé is really not just I went to the store. It's also I have gone to the store and I did go to the store. So we have these 3 past tenses in English, and the passé composé are 3 things rolled into one. So not surprised that that did not get 100% accuracy. Okay, so here's the deal with that one. It's that there's just a few être verbs. Everything else is avoir. The être verbs have to agree and gender number. So we make a big fuss about them because they're a little bit different. Good job. The verb auxiliaire, yes, they're not extra, although they are extra, I have to say. These auxiliary verbs are a little extra. correct. Okay, naître is conjugated with être. I think they rhyme. That is not why it's conjugated with être. It's because it is a intransitive verb. Yep, all of those. NE, accent aigu, NE, accent aigu S, NE, accent aigu E, NE, accent aigu ES. They're all correct. The past participles that are conjugated with être agree in gender and number. Okay, so if it's not on that list of Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp, then it is not conjugated with être, it's conjugated with avoir. So that is why danser is not conjugated with être, it is conjugated with avoir. Voila, nous avons dansé is correct because danser is conjugated with avoir. So if you're not getting a bunch of them right, there's a lot going on with passé composé. The passé composé est difficile. Voilà. Très bien. Il y a 16 verbes qui comptent pour l'instant, qui sont conjugués avec être. Okay, so this is just repeating it, but it's in French this time. Au passé composé, les verbes sont conjugués avec les verbes auxiliaires être et avoir. Être et avoir. Oh, wow. Okay, so here's what this is saying. The verb that precedes the auxiliary, it has to be in accordance in number and gender. So meaning that the subject controls the gender and number of the verb, which is pretty theoretical. And again, don't worry if that doesn't make sense right now. Très bien. Elles sont allées et correctes. Excellent. Okay, donc nous sommes allés is correct. So nous sommes allés cannot be correct because it's the auxiliary verb being être is nous sommes allés. It's Speaking of the devil. Okay, so they both are correct because if you had a feminine nous sommes allés, it would be two E's at the end. If it were a masculine nous sommes allés, it would just be one E at the end. But regardless, if it's plural, it takes the S. Okay, so they can't be right because if it's plural, it takes the S at the end of aller. So that past participle has to agree in gender and number. And since we know it's we, plural, there needs to be an S. Très bien. Vous avez compris. Excellent. Wow, ça c'est rapide. Très bien. Très bien. Donc, par exemple, nous avons mangé, nous avons dansé, nous avons regardé, accent aigu. Right. It's fini. J'ai fini. Nous avons fini. Le film est fini. Don't overthink it. Excellent. Voilà, avec le participe passé qui se termine en I. J'ai fini. Très bien. Okay, so the participe passé de boire est bu. Par exemple, j'ai bu de la bière, vous avez bu le vin, vous avez bu du lait. Voilà, c'est vrai. Nous avons bu est correct. Voilà, avec le participe passé qui se termine en U. J'ai bu, tu as bu, nous avons bu, j'ai bu mon café. très bien. It is difficult. The passé composé is maybe the most difficult thing in French. So if you find it easy, it's almost like something isn't right if you find passé composé easy. All right. So what I want most of you guys, I just want you to be understanding what things like past participle, le passé participe, what that means. You guys, what movie are you going to watch?
I'm gonna watch Amélie.
So I want everyone to watch the same movie. So Seth, Cameron, Katie, are you guys accord with Emily? Do you know where to find it? It's at the library. If you don't have it on a streaming service like Netflix, let's check really quick and see if it's there.
I don't believe it's on Netflix, but it's really cheap on Amazon Prime.
So if you don't feel like spending the $3.99 for Amazon Prime to rent it, or if you don't have Amazon Prime, there's definitely a DVD at the library, and I will have a quiz on Amélie on Wednesday to make sure everybody's on that same page. Okay? So I will not see you on Wednesday. I want you to do the homework that was pages, where is it? The exercises that we went over, and I will see everyone on Wednesday. I guess that's Wednesday, the 24th. Okay. Cameron and Ben, stick around because I have to show something to you. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Here's what is happening. Let me make sure I can share this. When I try to open your videos. So this one is, and I don't know why. Cameron, did you use, like it's showing up. Let me unshare and find. It's just, it looks like it should be a little, what would that be called? Like a little film file.
Put it on YouTube for you. I'm gonna do that today.
Okay, so you didn't put it on YouTube, right? And then Ben,
I
for
forgot.
some, okay, hold on. It's funny what here's what I want to show you what it does. It just gives me like gobbledygook. And then I'm going to show you, Ben, what happens when so this is Cameron's film, which isn't working. So I try to open it and I just get that. And then Ben, here's what I get. Hold on. Because I know you guys did it. And so there's no doubt there. Here we go. Okay. This is what I get. I think it's because it's like, so I click on it and then it downloads and then I have to choose an application. And then it looks like it was a Microsoft Word, even though it says GDoc, but then it doesn't give me anything.
What about the email? I had emailed you the link.
Let me check and make sure why I don't have an email, or I didn't catch that you sent me an email. Let me make
I
sure
sent it while we were in class last week.
Yes, I know it's going on weeks now that I'm trying to open, and it could just be that it was like a busy day and your email got lost in the piles, but let me make sure I have it so that, all right, Ben. Mhm. It's loading out of my 2 million emails. So yeah, Cameron, there it is. Okay, now let me make sure.
One in the Zoom chat as well.
Oh, cool. Let me open it up. Yeah, see, now this is working probably because it's a Google Doc and it's a link to a Google Doc, and there it is. Yay, voici la video. And let me click before I get too excited. Let me click and make sure that it sends me to so it's on YouTube. It seems to be working. Yes, it's sending me to YouTube. Okay, thanks, guys. See you on Wednesday.
Okay, that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and do a post. it up.
Okay, thank you very much.
Au
Au
revoir.
revoir.